political parties of Sudan also sent their congratulatory letters on the Congress. These countries represent significant milestones in the history of the development of the Chinese nation and has major influence globally. As international community, including Sudan, has paid close attention to major outcomes and the significance of the Congress. Today, I would like to take this opportunity to share with you from 6 perspectives on insight and understanding of this far-reaching Congress. Now let's get started with the first point, that is, electing the new CPC central leadership with Xi Jinping at its core. The new central leadership was elected at the first plenum of the Congress. Comrade Xi was re-elected General Secretary of CPC Central Committee and will continue to take helm of the great vessel of China on the journey ahead. Also, the Congress established Comrade Xi Jinping core position on the party central committee and in the party as a whole, and the guiding role of Xi Jinping's thought on socialism with Chinese characteristics for a new era, which represents broad consensus among and the common aspiration of the entire party and the Chinese people of all ethnic groups. It ensures that China will maintain consistency and stability in its policies. Second, elaborating on the essence of Xi Jinping's thought on socialism with Chinese characteristics for a new era. To stay at the forefront of the times, a nation must always be guided by the right theories. Since its inception, the CPC has embraced mechanism as a fundamental guiding ideology upon which the party and the country are founded and thrive. However, the party does not confine itself to specific ideas of the classic mechanism author. Indeed, instead, it has made unremitting efforts to adapt mechanism to the Chinese context and the needs of our times. Establishing in sequence Mao Zedong's thought and Xi Jinping's thought on socialism with Chinese characteristics that guiding our practice. Our experience in the past country has taught us that at fundamental level, we owe the success of the party and the socialism with Chinese characteristics to the fact that mechanism workers, particularly when it adapted to the Chinese context and the needs of our times, which is the key to the continued success in the cause of the party. Xi Jinping thought on socialism with Chinese characteristics for a new era opens up a new frontier in adapting mechanisms to the Chinese context and the need of the times. It is mechanism of contemporary China and the 21st century, embodying best of China culture and the ethos of this year. It is a new breakthrough in adapting mechanisms to the Chinese context and the need of our times. And this is theory theoretically underpinned by integration in two aspects, and 6 commitments. Taking deep root in China, the thought is result of integrating the basic tenet of mechanism with both China-Pacific reality and fine traditional culture. By applying dialectical and historical materials, we have provided correct answers to the major questions presented by the times and discovered through practice, and ensured mechanism always retain its vigor and vitality. In this way, we have achieved a new breakthrough in adapting mechanism to the Chinese context and needs of our times. The world view and methodology of thought could be crystallized into 6 commitments. That is, we must be committed to putting the people first, maintaining self-confidence and standing on our own feet, upholding fundamental principle and breaks new ground, adopting problem-oriented approach, applying system thinking, and maintaining a global vision. Mechanism-grade success in China tells us that there is neither orthodox model of development, nor one-size-fits-all criteria in development. China is firmly opposed to other countries impose their own development model on China, and will never export Chinese model or ask other countries to copy China's practice. China insisting that every country's endeavor to independently explore a path to modernization suited its conditions should be respected. Third, renewing the great achievement in the first decade of the new era. Over the past decade following the 18th CPC National Congress, the party achieved 3 major events of a great immediate importance and profound historic significance. That is, we embraced the CPC centenary, we ushered in a new era of socialism with Chinese characteristics, and embraced absolute poverty, and finished building moderate prosperous society in all respects, thus completing the first centenary goal. The past decade has witnessed China's new heights in terms of economic, scientific, and comprehensive national strength. China's GDP has expanded from 53.9 trillion yuan to 114.4 trillion yuan, to account for 18.5% of the world's economy, up 7.2 percentage points. China has remained the world's second largest economy, and per capita GDP has risen to 12,500 USD. China ranks 11th in the Global Innovation Index, up 23 places from 10 years ago. The average life expectancy of Chinese rose to 78.2 years. Nearly 100 million impoverished rural population has been lifted out of poverty. China now has in place the world's largest system of education, social security, and medical and health care, and has seen historical, transformative, and cooperative changes in ecological and environmental protection. Furthermore, China has become a major trading partner for more than 140 countries and regions, and led the world in total volume of trade in goods. China's average rate of contribution to global economic growth has reached 38.6%. Fourth, establishing the second centenary goal of a building model socialist country in all respects. The central task of CPC will be to lead Chinese people of all ethnic groups in a concerted effort to realize the second centenary goal of building China into modern socialist country in all respects, and to advance rejuvenation of the Chinese nation on all forms through a Chinese path to modernization. Achieving modernization of country and national rejuvenation has been the dream that Chinese nation tirelessly pursues. Building a moderate, prosperous society in all respects is the first centenary goal of the CPC. At the ceremony marking the CPC's centenary on July 1st, 2021, General Secretary Xi Jinping declared on behalf of the party and the people that through the continued efforts of the whole party and the entire nation, we have realized the first centenary goal of a building moderate, prosperous society in all respects. This means that we have brought about historical resolution to the problem of absolute poverty in China. This is a big stride on Chinese nation's historical path to rejuvenation. Building China into a modern socialist country in all respects is a second centenary goal of the CPC. To this end, a two-step strategic plan has been adopted that is basically realizing socialist modernization from 2020 through 2035, and then building China into a great modern socialist country that is prosperous, strong, democratic, cultural advanced, harmonious, and beautiful. From 2035 through the middle of this century, when the peoples of Republic of China will celebrate 100th anniversary of its founding. Building a modern socialist country in all respects is an emblem of the realization of national rejuvenation and the greatest aspiration of the Chinese people and the Chinese nation. In the nearly 30 years from now on, all work of the party and the country will focus on and serve the central task. In the fifth place, strengthen China's commitment to the Chinese path to modernization. For how to build modern socialist country. The 20th CPC, National Congress, describes China's approach to modernization as a brand new Chinese path to modernization, and clearly define features, essential requirements, and major principles of Chinese modernization, so that we'll be able to keep firmly in our own hands the destiny of country's development. Chinese modernization has distinctive features as follows. First of all, Chinese modernization is the socialist modernization pursued under CPC leadership. We must ensure the party's Central Committee authority and its centralized, unified leadership, and guarantee that the party fulfill its core role of exercising overall leadership and coordinating the efforts of all sides. It is imperative for us to pursue high-quality development. Develop who process people's democracy, enriching people's cultural lives, and adopt people-centric approach so as to keep meeting the people's ever-growing need for a better life. Second, Chinese modernization is a modernization of a huge population, enabling more than 1.4 billion Chinese people, a huge population that is ever higher than the total population of the existing developed countries, to enter modern society as a whole is unprecedented, arduous, and complicated task. China has to feed the entire 20% of global population with a 9% of arable land available worldwide, and 6% of the world's freshwater resources. There's no ready-made model that can be copied by us. China has always advanced modernization process according to its national conditions. Third, Chinese modernization is modernization of common prosperity for all. In contrast to West-style modernization, which results that the rich get richer while the poor become poorer. Chinese modernization is pursued through people-centered approach, and resolute efforts are made to prevent polarization. The common prosperity we design is not egalitarianism. To use an analogy, we will first make pie bigger and then divide it properly. While allowing some people to become prosperous first, we will push these people to give helping hands to those following in their wake, so that development gains will benefit all our people in a more substantial and equitable way. Fourth, Chinese modernization is material and cultural ethical advancement. Different from Western-style modernization that is centered on modernization of economy, Chinese modernization is committed to material and cultural ethical advancement. It is multifaceted modernization, strengthening national strengths, people's well-being, politics, democracy, social harmony, spiritual affluence, and ecological beauty. Fourth, Chinese modernization is modernization of harmony between humanity and nature. Abandoning the old path of development that was realized at the price of environment and ecology, we are now committed to ecological conservation. Bear in mind the idea that lucid waters and lush mountains are invaluable assets. We had advanced green development to build even more beautiful China with green mountains, clear waters, and fresh air. Last but not least, Chinese modernization is modernization of peaceful development, breaking away from traditional pattern in which rising powers has always sought to dominate. China has forged a new path of peaceful development that never directs China to hegemony. Adhering to the path of peaceful development is fundamental purpose of Chinese diplomacy and the guiding principle enshrined into Chinese constitution. Believing the ancient wisdom that work-like state will eventually perish, China never seek hegemony. We advocate the settlement of dispute through dialogue and negotiation. Pursue a national defense policy that is defensive in nature. No matter how developed China becomes, it will never seek hegemony or expansion. China remains committed to its foreign policy goal of upholding world peace and promoting common development, and calls upon all countries to hold dear humanity's shared values of peace, development, fairness, justice, democracy, and freedom, and dedicate for promoting human community with shared future. So Chinese modernization represents a right path for achieving rejuvenation of Chinese nation. It is a Chinese wisdom and Chinese solution to solving common challenges facing mankind. Chinese modernization creates a new form of human advancement and offers humanity a new choice for achieving modernization. Now let's move on to the last point. That is, setting objective and major tasks of development of various sectors for the coming period. At the 20th CPC National Congress, strategic plans were made to set out major goals and tasks for China's development in the coming period. Touching upon reform, development, stability, domestic affairs, diplomacy, national defense, party self-governance, national governance, and the armed forces. They chart the course and provide fundamental guidance for the advancing the cause of the party and the country in the new era. Dear friends and colleagues, to conclude, over the past century, the party has scored remarkable achievements for the Chinese people. Looking ahead to the second century, under CPC's brilliant leadership, we will work tirelessly in line with programs of action and major policy for the cause of party and the country, set out at the 20th CPC National Congress. We are convinced that the goal of building China into a modern socialist country in all respects will become reality, and Chinese dream of national rejuvenation will come true. We believe that while guiding China to new historic changes, the 20th CPC National Congress will bring new development opportunity for Sudan and other countries. We hope friends from the Sudanese media will help publicize the guiding principles of the Congress and encourage people from all sectors in Sudan to seize historic opportunity to deepen bilateral cooperation on various fronts, thus achieving win-win results. Together, we will surely create a bright future. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to stop here. Thank you very much for your attention. Now I'm ready to answer your question.